Hey, welcome to my second R3 Driving Academy guide for Assetto Corsa EVO. This time we're doing a full lap of Imola in the rain in the Ferrari Challenge. And this car, it's surprisingly stable in the wet. We can get up to full throttle very quickly after pulling off from the line, and then immediately we go to the right side of the track, opening up our entry line for the first turn. We're looking for where the track bends towards the left or that surface road on the right, and using those as braking references, braking just before the track bends to the left. And then we get to this point, we can use the inside curb here. In fact, we can go all the way up to the step part of the inside curb here. There's a decent amount of grip on the curbs for some reason, and it feels a bit wrong, but use the curbs here. You can use this one as well. Just lift with the throttle, let the car turn a bit. Be careful on throttle because it is a bit slippery. Here, bring the car back towards the middle of the track just a bit to open up your entry line for this bend to the left here, and lift off throttle a bit, and then use this inside curb. Not the raised part of the curb, but use most of the curb that I've marked out here. If you lift it off throttle enough, you should be able to get back on throttle just before that apex. Now, carrying your speed all the way to the outside curb here, you can use this outside curb. There's enough grip, the car's stable enough there. Shouldn't be, but it's fine. Now here we're looking for where the coloured curb begins and braking just at or just after that, and we're not braking too hard. We want to start coming off the brake as we turn in to come over this inside curb here. Again, don't go over the raised part of the curb, but where the green arrow is, cut over that bit, and then keep the car towards the left or middle of the track. Don't go too far to the right here. We do want to open up our entry line a bit here for the next turn, and again we're going to use all of the inside curb, lifting off throttle, maybe even a tiny bit of brake just to get the car to turn in a bit, and then being quite gentle on throttle there. It's very easy to slide there, and this curb here you don't want to get on too much. It is quite slippery. As you can see, I get a bit sideways there, but using a little bit, it's not too bad. Back to the right side of the track, we're braking about where that surface road is on the right, and we want to go very deep into this turn. Deep, and have a very late apex to straighten up our exit line as much as we can, because if we take a narrow turn and we're turning a lot while accelerating, the traction control is just going to engage and we're going to have a very poor exit. So the straighter exit we can get, the better our acceleration is going to be out of the turn. So deep and then late apex. Bring the car back to the left side of the track here to open up our entry line for this left bend here, and then almost as soon as we get the car straight, just at the top over this crest here, near where the 100 board is on the right side there, we're going to start braking. Braking on the right here, and then starting to come off the brakes as we trail in towards the inside. You can use a little bit of the inside curb there. I narrowly avoided it here, getting on throttle around or just after where the apex was, because you don't want to go too wide on exit here. This curb will kind of affect you. You want to keep on the track there so you can bring the car back to the left. You get on that curb, kind of pushes you out wide. Now you definitely don't want to brake too late into this turn, because it's very easy to go too deep and go outside the curbs down here. So brake a few car lengths before that cone there, and then coming off the brakes as we start to turn, cutting over this inside curb. There's enough grip for you to go over this, but once we get through here, I actually get back on throttle just a little bit to carry some speed in this straight bit, but don't get onto that outside curb. That one's a bit too slippery for braking on. Try avoid that, and then tucking into this inside curb. We're using most of the curb, but again, avoiding that raised part of the curb because that'll kind of bounce you out. And then we can cut across this curb here. There's enough stability for you to get full throttle and just go in the straightest line that you can up the hill here, and then getting back onto the track surface. Don't get into the sand back there. Now for the chicane, where we can cut a lot of it, we're braking just a little bit, maybe a car length before the 100 board or the cone there, and starting to come off the brakes. We're turning towards the inside. We want to carry some speed over here, cutting all the way up to the cone, all the way over the curbs, and trying to straight line towards the next curb. This one, I don't find that you can cut as much as the first one because the car bounces around a lot. So left side wheels over the yellow part of the curb gives you a nice smooth exit there. Carrying your speed all the way to the exit curb. It will be a little slippery, but carrying your momentum out there seems worth it. Now we're bringing the car to the left side of the track along the white line to keep our line as short as possible. And this next turn is going to be quite a tricky braking zone. You have to brake quite early here, beginning to turn in and braking before we get to where the track bends to the right. A few car lengths before that cone there. Not hard on the brakes because we're turning, about 3/4 of the brakes applied, turning a bit, getting in a straight line, braking harder, and trying to bring the car a little bit more towards the right side of the track to open your entry line for this turn here, which you can use the inside curb a bit, cut over that, and then carry your momentum to the outside curb, which this one is quite slippery again. You're going to get a little bit of wheel spin, but the wider entry line for this next turn kind of makes it worth it. So we can turn in just before we get to the cone, and not too much brakes here, just a bit. And in this case, I go around the curb. You can use the inside curb here. We just want to have a nice clean exit. Don't want to get too much sliding. You can carry your speed out to the outside curb here. Little slippery again, but using the momentum to make your exit line a little wider, carry a bit more speed out, it's worth it. For some reason, this car is very stable in the wet. You can push the car a lot, and it almost feels too grippy. I'm not sure if this will change in the future. Maybe I'll have to redo this. But that's the run around this lap. I really feel like you shouldn't be able to ride the curbs the way I was during this lap, especially outside curbs when you're carrying your momentum out onto those curbs. In real life, you'd probably spin out doing that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's the run. I'm going to play through the whole lap again without any interruptions. So thanks for watching the guide, and I'll see you later.